Some businesses succeed, some don't. Then there are those that seem to have been around forever. The true entrepreneurial success story. How did they do it? What was their vision? What makes a success? In this special episode for Eye on Annapolis, we speak with the true success stories, those business owners that have been around for decades, learn from their successes and failures. Now, here's host John Fernay.
We dropped down into Jabin's Yacht Yard to see Kate Dawson, who is what is your title here at Annapolis Yacht Sales?
I am the Director of Operations.
Director of Operations. So that's like you're the one that gets in trouble if something breaks?
Pretty much.
And the one that's cleaning the floors if a pipe breaks and the whole 9 years?
Absolutely. As well as being in sales, as well as being in service and accounting. Yep.
Well, one thing, this is all part of the series that we're doing on just local businesses. Mm-hmm. And one thing that really surprised me about Annapolis Yacht Sales as I started to dig into them is that you've been around here for 65 years. Now, I want to go on record. You're not 65. You're not anywhere close to it. Okay.
Correct.
My mom taught me better than that. But Annapolis Yacht Sales has been around 65 years.
Yes, 1953. They opened their first office, which was just a desk in the corner of Fawcett Boat Supplies downtown.
And that was at the old Fawcetts that probably will never be called anything other than Fawcetts, no matter what.
What else could you call it, right?
It's like I go into the CVS, I say, I want a margarita. We don't sell them. I said, yes, you do. You're the Mexican cafe.
We missed that, yeah.
That's for sure. So now you're down here in Jabin's Yacht Yard. Mm-hmm. And Jabin's, I don't think, existed 65 years ago down here, did they?
That's a good question. I don't know, because the Jabin's family has been around for
Forever.
a while, with lots of properties. So I don't know if the actual yacht yard, when they built that out.
But what struck me as sort of funny is that, Annapolis Yacht Sales, I mean, you guys sell beautiful boats. I know you sell the Beneteaus and...
Yep. Beneteau and Lagoon are
okay, so you could correct me because I'm not a sailor. I'm not a sailor. I'm a powerboater, but that's
we sell those too.
Yeah. And you've got the which one? The Oceanus.
The Oceanus 46.1. Is the new model that just arrived. It was launched last year at the Cannes Boat Show, and then we had it in the Fall Boat Show. But this one that we have right now is the first hull built in America, built in Marion, South Carolina.
Oh.
So this is the first one out of the factory here.
Very nice. Well, I'll pick one up on my way out.
Perfect. We'll put a bow on it for you.
But, my thought is about just the beauty of the boats as I'm driving in here. 65 years ago, it doesn't seem like Annapolis was a market that would support that I know of. I mean, from what I've read and what I've learned, I mean, it was a real working man's town. Downtown was a little bit rough.
Yeah.
And, it just doesn't seem. But, you've obviously been very successful over the years. How did it get started, and what's the history of it?
So I think that, I don't know too much about the history of Annapolis in the marine industry back then, but I think what has been consistent with the company from the very beginning is the customer service aspect of John Burgreen, who is the owner 2 owners ago. He had a motto to never let there be one unhappy customer. And from the very beginning through now, that has always been our mantra, to make sure the customer is always taken care of. And while I think that there may not have been $1 million boats being sold back then, this town has always had a heart and a soul for sailing and being part of that. So I think that we were able to sustain. And the other thing is, throughout this time, and I've witnessed it, my parents being previous owners, I've witnessed that we have changed some of the ways that we market boats, or that the technology we have to do that. But at the end of the day, your relationship with the people that work here and the community has kept everybody together, and that's why we've been able to succeed.
Well, that's true. You've got to evolve with whatever technologies are out there. You certainly look at how boats are built and marketed and serviced and everything else. I know now I take my car in and there's no such thing as a mechanic. He plugs like a cord in and says, okay,
says everything is wrong. Yeah.
Just the receipt comes out. Okay. It's going to cost you $1,000. Here it is.
Right.
So it's kind of neat. Now you said your parents were a previous owner or had purchased the company. Now are they, so how long have you guys owned the company for?
So basically, the quick history is it started in 1953. In the 80s, John and Peggy Burgreen purchased it from Peggy's parents. And John Burgreen really grew the company into the name that people recognize.
Right.
He was an icon in the industry, and his standards of excellence and quality, everybody knew who John Burgreen was. Fantastic person. My dad had a rigging and commissioning business in the 90s, and he ended up doing all of the commissioning for Annapolis Yacht Sales. So when Annapolis Yacht Sales sold a new boat, my dad would put it together, put the mast up, get it ready for the customer, and he would actually spend a lot of time meeting with the customer to customize the boat for them. So
obviously there was a lot of trust between the parties there.
It really was, yeah. When John decided that it was time to retire, he went straight to my dad and said, I want you to buy the business. So my parents bought the business in 1999, and they combined the sales side from John and the service side from my dad to create Annapolis Yacht Sales and Services into one big company, which was a huge milestone for the company, because now we were doing everything in-house and customizing all the boats for the customers. And
so you've got two separate, I guess, divisions, for lack of a better word. The sales end that is selling new, and you do brokerage as well.
We do. We have a huge brokerage business. Yep.
And then the service.
The service, correct.
And are you just servicing the brands that you broker or sell, or you service whatever? We'll
service anything that floats. No, we do a lot of. We obviously spend a lot of time commissioning the new boats that we sell, but a lot of our service work is retail work for any brand of boat. So we can come to the customer can bring their boat here for all different brands.
How did you guys survive the recession?
Service.
I was ready for barely.
That's true. It was actually interesting because I started working here in January of 2008. So my first boat show, October of 2008, was the day that the stock market crashed. And we went from lots of sales to nothing. Yeah. It was a very trying time. But I think what my parents had done during that period was build the business up so that everybody knew the quality and the standard of excellence you were getting from our service department. So no one was buying new boats, but they were fixing up the boats that they had. So we were able to survive on service and brokerage boats. That
makes all the sense in the world. And again, I can't emphasize enough in any business that the quality and the relationship that you're building with the customer is there. My girlfriend had just bought a new computer last night at Best Buy, and it was really frustrating just to watch the guy that was doing it just pick out his phone all the time and sit there and tap on the phone a little bit, and as he's going, and he's like waiting for this, and and you want to do this, and tap, and I'm like, I get it. It's a cheap laptop. It's something to bang out around by the pool and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And you build that relationship on that to do it, and they will come back to you. Yeah. And are your parents still involved in the company, or have they?
So my parents sold the business in 2012.
Okay.
To Rob Tayshoff, who was a customer of ours, mm-hmm. Chris Humphreys, who was our service manager for 18 years, and Tim Wilbright, who was one of our salespeople for about 14 years.
Okay.
So it was kind of a great combination for my parents to feel really confident in handing the business off to, and these guys were ready to take it to the next level. My parents wanted to retire. They knew that the risk involved in taking it to the next level, they weren't willing to do it, so they were ready to hand it off, and it was a great team. It's kind of an
interesting dynamic. You've got a customer, a sales guy, and the service guy that everybody obviously is very comfortable with.
Yep.
And they decided to keep the boss's daughter on?
Yeah, thank God. Still working on losing that stigma. But yeah, they were. It was great that they kept me on. And at the time, I was just having kids. So I took a little bit of part-time, but I've worked my way back up to where I am.
So where did you get involved in sailing?
So we're originally from South Africa, my family, and I started sailing probably when I was about 8 years old. My dad tried to teach me how to sail an opti, and we're very similar people, both very stubborn, and it wasn't exactly like the picture-perfect experience that you think. So I didn't sail for a while, and then when I was in high school, my dad started racing on Beneteau 36.7s on Wednesday nights, and that's when I realized that there's a lot of cute boys racing, and that got me back into it.
Okay. Now, you said it was with the Beneteau 26 and 27. So is that, obviously it's a brand that you represent. It's obviously a brand that you are totally supportive of. But has that been like a favorite brand, a favorite boat of yours forever?
Yeah. I mean, I've grown up in the industry, and I've grown up knowing Beneteau's for most of my life. And they are the number one sailing monohull in the world, production boat. So it's definitely something that I have a heart for. But it's hard. I go to the boat show. I make sure I check out all the other boats. And I do see things that I like, but Beneteau's are still where the heart is.
No, somebody always has something. You always have to covet somebody else's something or other.
Right.
They did that really nice. And,
Yeah.
So eventually it'll show up. But you mentioned the boat shows here a couple times. One with your entree into the crash of 2008. And I know that we do have, we've got two sets of boat shows here in Annapolis. We've got the sail and the powerboat in the fall, and then Annapolis also has a spring sailboat show.
Yes.
And obviously you guys are there.
Yes.
And I mean, you're in the heart of it. You'd be dumb not to be. Are the boat shows just really good? Are they good opportunities to...
They are. The best thing about the boat shows is that a customer can come to the show and see a wide selection of boats. So while we work with them throughout the year, they come to the show and they narrow down. We know that the Beneteau or the Lagoon is the boat that we want for us. And it's a great place for people to start looking, because if people are a couple years out, they know they want to cruise with their family, but their kids want to be a little bit older first. They come and get to see all the different boats at one place. And it's always fun to ring the bell at the show.
Interesting. So it's opening and closing of sales. I mean, I'm thinking about sailing and get in and walk on. Yeah, I could see myself on here, and they may or may not buy at that time.
Right.
But the process has started.
Yeah. And the fall boat show is interesting because it's October, so it's the end of the season. So you're kind of thinking, well, why are you buying a boat at the end of the season? But what we do is over the winter, we commission the boat for them. So could do all their customizations, so they're on the water first thing
in
April
the spring.
1. Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You get into powerboats at all?
I do.
You do? Okay.
It's nice to be able to just throw something in the water and go. We sell over at our Kent Island location and our Virginia Beach location. I should mention that we have 4 locations.
Just like sort of forget about that. Okay, so let's first of all talk about where are the locations.
So we have 2 in Maryland. We have the Annapolis location in Birch Avens. We have Kent Island, which is at Bay Bridge Marina. And then we have in Virginia, Deltaville, Virginia, which not many people have heard of, but it's an amazing sailing destination. Mm-hmm. And Virginia Beach was opened the most recently. So
now, how long have they all been? Is Annapolis is the main? I'm guessing with the name Annapolis Yacht Sales,
yes.
that Annapolis is the main.
That's where we start.
The main thing, but I mean, how long have they been around? The other ones?
So there was Annapolis, obviously. Deltaville we opened in 2005. And then Kent Island and Virginia Beach are the 2 new locations that the current owners opened, both focused on the power side of the business. And that was probably 2014 for Kent Island.
Okay.
And 2016 for Virginia Beach.
Okay. And we talked a little bit about power. You said the power boats on Kent Island and down in Virginia Beach.
Yep.
What power boats do you guys?
Sure. We sell Edgewater.
Okay.
Staggercraft, Foremans, and cruiser yachts.
It's a nice little roundup of...
It is. I have to say, I being a sailor at heart, but still having a tie to boating and being on powerboats, I feel like we have a really good mix on the power side. We've got express cruisers, we've got family cruisers, you've got the fishing boats, the Staggercraft are just the perfect bay boat. So,
yeah, it's and as far as your sail products that you've got here, I mean, I've seen just some absolutely gorgeous boats that are way beyond my means or actually capabilities of even thinking about trying to sail. I'd probably wreck it in a minute. But I mean, do you have sailboats for, obviously I would think in your brokerage, but for beginners? And
Sure. Yeah, so on the sailboat side, we do have brokerage. We represent a ton of boats in the area. We also have Beneteau. This last year came out with their first... They reimagined their first line of boats, and that starts down at 14 feet. So we have 14, 18, 24, 27. And those are... I say more entry level in the sense that they're a little bit more affordable, but they're also just fun, get on the water with the family or go racing on a Friday night.
They're not cruising.
They're not long-term cruising,
right?
But they do have great amenities for families to be on. So it kind of has that performance edge, but can also be used for families to cruise.
Well, speaking as a former powerboater, when I realized that other people's boats are much more affordable, but I guess it's very similar to like a day cruise or a day cruiser or a bow rider versus a something with a cabin that you could sleep over, which makes with like a little bit of a galley on a head and something like that. So that's it. Well, where's the future? I mean, you've gone from a corner of Fawcetts,
right,
65 years ago to 4 locations in the Mid-Atlantic.
Taking over the world. It's really exciting, the future. Like I talked about earlier, we are using a lot of technology right now. We launched a new website at the beginning of the year. It's really answering what our customers are looking for, because the way people shop for boats is different now as with the online. And so we've launched a couple. We have an AYS premium program, so looking for high quality listings, because we have a ton of buyers for quality listings, and sometimes they can be hard to find. So we have a program there, and really we've gone through some transition with the growth that we've had over the past couple of years with the new owners. They were willing to expand and take on new brands and open new locations, and now we've upped our infrastructure to support that so we can make it last long term. So it's really continuing to meet our customer needs and enjoy the passion that we have for it.
Well, I would say we're going to get into the age thing, but I'm not going to tell any secrets. But I mean, you're fairly young, and I would imagine, were you one of the driving forces behind some of the technology that moved this business forward, do you think?
I don't know if I would be the driving force. I think the one thing that I love about our company is how much we work as a team, and it sounds cliche, but we really are the AYS family, then we all work together. So
how many employees do you have?
We're actually almost at 50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, between all the locations, including
You got to keep it under 50.
I know. We are paying attention to that very closely.
Get an extra year.
I know.
But
the technology side has been awesome. We implemented a whole new dealer management software, which connects our sales and our service and our accounting. So the process of information flows really seamlessly internally through the company. But then with that, we were able to connect it to our website and have all of our information feed out to the public easily. Some of the brokers had awesome influence on the technology that we're using to market our boats, such as 3D tours. So we're doing professional videos, professional photography, 3D tours of the boats, and a lot of email marketing.
Well, I know that your website, and that's AnnapolisYachtSales.com?
Yes.
The new launch of that, I remember seeing that. I don't want to short-sight it by saying that the opening video, because that makes it sound like this video thing pops up and it's like
just in the background, yeah.
It's just this. That's what it is. I mean, you're immersed into this giant, how big your screen is, but this theater of being out on the water.
Being in Annapolis on the water. Yeah, that video, I'm happy to hear you say that, because that really was a meaningful video to us. We have an incredible content creator who created it for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the irritating pop-ups that, hey, here's the ad or anything like that. I mean, you get out there and you really do feel it's, and if you had a large screen, you'd be like totally blown away.
Connected, yeah.
You guys did a good job on that.
Oh, thank you.
That's for sure.
I'll make sure that feedback gets back to them.
How's the process for buying a boat here? I mean, it seems you mentioned that the team that works here is a family, and do your boats stay local that you sell here for the most part, or
for the most part, because we do have territories. So our whole territory for Beneteau is the whole Chesapeake Bay. So if you're keeping a boat in Rock Hall or Solomon's Island or down Deltaville, they're coming to us.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that we're also the servicing dealer. So if you're going to buy a boat, a new Beneteau or Lagoon, you want to be able to come back to your dealer who's local to be able to service.
Okay. But how is the process? I mean, is it I hate buying cars.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the worst thing in the world. Now, a car is a necessity, and a boat is not.
Yes.
For the most part. So this is a happy purchase.
Exactly.
For the most part. But I mean, walk me through the purchase. I mean, how does a guy walk in here and say, "Hey, I'm looking to buy a boat,"
Sure.
and we go kick some tires and.
Yeah. I mean, that is the thing, is that it's not a necessity. And so we're going to make it fun and enjoyable the entire time. Our sales team is very experienced. They've been in the business for a long time, and they really care about finding the right boat for you, not just selling you a boat, because every family has a different list of check marks that they need to meet. some people are really tall, and you got to find the boat that fits them, literally. And so they spend a lot of time figuring out first exactly what you need, what you're looking for, where you're sailing, or boating with powerboats as well. And then once you find the boat of your dreams, we sign a contract. It depends if it's an ordered boat or a stock boat, because if it's a stock boat here, then obviously we can close on it right away, get to work customizing it for the customer. And we have a really great delivery day where there's on-water orientation. We give you a captain for a day, and he takes them out on the water, orients them with the whole boat. It's a really great, the delivery day is a great experience.
So you said it's a full day of...
Yep.
So this is, what's this button do? What's that?
Exactly.
What's that knob
Where
do?
everything
How do I
is,
do
what
this?
you need to check, what oil levels, that type of stuff. The mechanics of it all, but then also setting them up that once you're a customer of Annapolis Yacht Sales, you can come to us for anything. We're going to take care of all of your warranty. We're going to take care of all of your service needs. We have a detail division, so you can buy a wash package and get your boat washed when you come back, so you don't even have to do that.
Okay.
So it's a full service, full lifetime relationship with us.
That's fantastic.
It's awesome.
How often do your customers trade up? I've often heard that it was like every 4 years they start to get the itch. And
yes.
Is that legit?
It's about right, yeah. It's like a 2-foot itch every 4 years, yeah. No, we have a lot of repeat customers, which is also a great way because then we take boats in trade. So if you bought a Beneteau from us, and it doesn't have to be a Beneteau, we just had a Catalina that we took in trade and sold quickly. And so we take boats in trade, which makes it exciting for the customers to be able to just take that next step.
And then, if it's a boat that you sold and serviced,
and we know
obviously
exactly.
you know the history of it.
Exactly.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember when you ran into that.
Exactly.
It's somebody else may not pick up there. Now, any truth, there's always been a rumor going around town between sailboaters and powerboaters when it comes to the boat show, and that the powerboaters are bigger tippers. You said you do enjoy a powerboat, and the sailboaters are worse tippers. Can we speak to that? Or do we want to just want to plead the fifth?
What is interesting always to me is the difference between the two shows, that if it's raining and windy and miserable, the sailboaters are going to come out anyway because they're going to put their foul weather gear on and they're going to come on out. The powerboaters like the sunny days.
Yeah, it's just, you've got the Judge Smales from Caddyshack or something like that that's going from there. Where's your future? What are you guys looking down the road? Do you have more places? I mean, the Chesapeake Bay. I mean, you didn't mention anything North Bay. So
we all the way up to Rock Hall.
That's
the whole
your territory,
Chesapeake Bay,
right?
Right.
But I mean, are you
any locations north? We've discussed it. I'm not going to rule it out. I think right now we're in a stage of, after increasing our infrastructure and having the growth that we've had, creating some stability, making sure our customers are absolutely taken care of and meeting the demands of the market. And so we've discussed some ideas for up north.
Some expansions. Mm-hmm. Do you have boats in water here for yourself? I mean, obviously, if somebody purchases a boat, it gets launched here at Jabin's.
So we have all of our lagoons are in the water down at the dock. They don't get launched here, but we have a dock that is dedicated for our lagoons. We have 3 on there right now.
Okay. What's a lagoon?
A lagoon catamaran.
Okay.
Yep. The Lagoon Catamaran is the #1 catamaran brand in the world.
Okay.
And so Beneteau's our monohull. Lagoons are our catamaran. The Beneteaus are actually all on land unless we launch them for something like a boat show or a sea trial, because we have this awesome deck that wraps around our building, so you can step straight from the deck onto the boat without having to climb up ladders. So the Beneteaus are all up here and the lagoons are down in the water. Catamarans
are really sort of, and multi-hulls have sort of come out of, I don't want to say out of nowhere. I remember growing up, it was the Hobie Cat, and that was about it.
The multi-hull market has taken off the last few years. It is growing with leaps and bounds, and we are adjusting our sails to take advantage of that for sure.
What's the advantage of that?
The multi-hull, like sailing a multi-hull?
Yeah.
A lot of people like it. It's a lot more comfortable. You're not heeling over. It's more stable. So for families, cruising is a lot easier. You get more space. So
to me, it seems like it wouldn't have more space.
You'd be surprised. It's pretty incredible. We'll need to go down there and take a look.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's great. Again, Annapolis Yacht Sales, AnnapolisYachtSales.com. Check out the opening. I don't want to say it again with the video, but check out the opening of that website. It's pretty phenomenal. You guys have done a great job. 65 years, I think I've got to say congratulations. I was shocked when I read that it was that it's been around, and I think it's pretty amazing that it's been through only 3 owners in that time.
It's pretty cool. And the coolest thing is being 65 years old, that same year we won a place on the Inc. 5000's top 5,000 growing companies. So not only are we stability for that long, but we're still growing at that point.
You got named to the Inc. 5000 or Inc. of the top growing company? Was that in general, or was that in specific to the marine industry?
No, it was the top 5,000 fastest growing companies in the U.S. overall. Thank you.
Well done.
It's pretty exciting.
Well done. No, that is actually that's a giant leap there. I mean, and it's in a relatively small little area, the Chesapeake Bay. I mean, it's not like you have Montana or anything to deal with. Not that there's that much sailing out there, but that's fantastic.
It is. It was definitely something we're really proud of, and it really goes back to the way that we handle our customers, the way that we take care of them, and that they keep coming back.
Well, I did see in locally, I mean, Inc. is a national, maybe international type of a business magazine recognition, but I did notice all over your door coming on the way in, it was all littered with your Capital Gazette.
Yes.
And the best of
What's up,
and the best of stickers. So obviously you've got some local accolades as well.
Yeah.
And the service is going to keep people coming back, and the experience there.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the 65 years. Kate Dawson from Annapolis Yacht Sales, thank you. And everybody that's listening, check out AnnapolisYachtSales.com. Even if you're not in the market for a boat, a Beneteau or a Lagoon, which I learned now is a multi-hull. But that opening of the website is just phenomenal. Sniff around there, find out all they have to offer.
There's a lot of resources on our website.
And if you are in the market of a boat, come on down to, are we on Benby Beach Road at this point, or are we still on Edgewood Road?
Still on Edgewood Road.
Okay.
Yep.
We're on Edgewood Road in
Burt
Annapolis, right off of Bay Ridge, and you want to just go right down there to the Burt Jabins Yacht Yard, take a left into there, and then a left.
Yep.
And they're in the building at the very end, right next to about 9 really, really beautiful boats.
That's right.
Thanks very much, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this special podcast for Ion Annapolis. Please be sure to visit ionannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinions. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Ion Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you your local news direct to your phone or tablet every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Subscribe on iTunes or Google Play.